This is episode 142. Do this to adhere to your weight loss program. Welcome everybody to another episode here in Body and Mind Transformation by Custom Body Fitness. This is your health coach, Sandro Torres. And not too long ago, I listened to a great interview about this great Navy SEAL. He had it difficult to get into the Navy. First of all, he had a heart problem that no doctor wanted to touch, so he can get into the Navy SEAL because he needed to scuba dive very deep, and if he couldn't do that, he couldn't get into the Navy SEAL. But he gets talking into how difficult the training was. But he said that everybody can do the training, but it's more mental than physically difficult. And the reason is because many people focus a lot on the whole picture. They focus on all the training and the months they have to be training, instead of just doing one day at a time and one task at a time. And he noticed that the people who focus on doing one task at a time are the people who were rolling into the Navy, who were accepted. And the other people who focus on the whole picture, they quit. They usually quit. And that's the same thing I noticed at Custom Body Fitness. The people who get results, they finish their workout, they're coming, they're consistent, they just focus one workout at a time, one repetition at a time, and the same with the habits. And that's the same thing I apply in my life. Instead of overwhelming myself about all the things that I have to do, I apply the same concept. For you to be able to stick to your program and for you to be able to get those results, it's important that you put everything into chunks, into small chunks, and that is exactly what is this talk about. So without further introduction, let's listen to the talk. At CBF, we know that for you to change your body, you need to change your mind. Exercise and eating healthy is only part of the plan. We care about our members as we care about our family, because our members become our family. It is not about competition, but support. It is not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about you defeating your negative self. It is about working together and making the task challenging and have fun. By the end, what matters is not how hard the session was, but that you take control of your mind so you can take control of your body. My name is Sandro Torres, and I'm happy you are part of our family. Welcome to Custom Body Fitness. Welcome everybody to another talk here with your health coach, Sandro Torres. Today, I'm going to give you a key for you to continue with your weight loss program so you can adhere to it for life. Not too long ago, I heard an interview with a Navy SEAL. He was talking about the difficulty to get into the Navy. The training they need to go through, the boot camp and so on. But he had it even harder than other people, because he was advised that he can't scuba dive very deep in the water because he had a problem in his heart. Anyway, he was willing to sacrifice his life to get into the Navy. So even though he was advised not to get surgery because no doctor wanted to touch his heart, he finally found a doctor who can touch his heart and do the surgery. Anyway, but he could have died in that surgery. He didn't, and everything was successful, and he got into the Navy. He started talking about the difficulty of all the training, but more than physical, it was more mental. So he says that many people quit because they see the whole picture, all the difficulty, all the training, the whole day, everything they need to do for that moment. And then the day, the weeks, and the months. And when they see that, they're already given up because it's too much, it's too difficult to do. He noticed the people who continue, who are accepted in the Navy, are those people that do a chunk at a time. And he gives an explanation. He says, there is a time when you need to run. All you need to run is a mile. And there is chairs when you can just sit on those chairs when you stop, when you can't continue running. They tell you that you need to run a mile, but that mile you need to run it many times. They don't tell you when they're gonna tell you to stop. They can be a mile, they can be 160 miles, like he ran 160 miles. You don't know how long it's gonna take you, but you need to finish the lap every time. So he said that he only focused on a mile. He said, well, a mile, I can get it. It's very easy for me to do it and I can get it done. So he only focused on a mile. And by the end, he ran 160 miles. But other people can run a few miles because they were thinking, they were waiting for a command that says stop. And because they focus on that, they quit. And there is other things like that. Like you only need to think about the chunk that you need to do. That day, that hour, that minute, whatever it is, you just think about that and forget about the rest. Because that training is so hard that you can't think about the next day, the next hour. You just focus on that moment. And that's how he got into the Navy. That's a very inspirational interview. And I thought about our members. I interview many of our members here at Custom Body Fitness who have got great results. And one of the questions that I ask them is, how do you do it when you are tired, when when the session is difficult, when you need to lift those heavy weights, and you know you need to finish your sets and your repetitions? How do you do it? And most of them give me a similar answer, just like the Navy SEAL. They say, if I need to do 24 repetitions, 20 repetitions, or 30 repetitions, I only focus 4 at a time, 2 at a time, or 6 at a time. I don't think about the whole set. I don't think about the 3 or 4 sets or 5 sets that we need to do. I only focus about those first ones, and that's all I do. So they also break things into chunks. So if they think about all the, let's say a day they need to do 30 repetitions and they need to do 3 sets, they really need to do 90 repetitions. But instead of focusing on 90 repetitions, they just focus on 4 or 6. And then they finish the first set, and then they go to the second and then to the third. They don't think about the whole thing. It's the same thing that I see with other members who give great results. I see they focus one habit at a time. So when I assess them, we talk about their eating habits. Those people that want to do everything, they want to change everything, what they drink, what they do, the exercise, they want to run every day, they want to weight lift 5 times a week, they want to eat breakfast, they want to stop drinking this, they want to stop using this, and blah, blah, blah. They quit because it's overwhelming. But those who make small changes, I see them losing weight slowly but steady, because they're making small changes. For example, one of our members used to do like all the bad habits you can think about: not eating breakfast, smoking, drinking, not exercising, not going for a walk, drinking soda, drinking alcohol. I mean, you mention it. And I see with this person and I say, okay, let's just make a couple changes. And the only thing that he did is start eating breakfast, stop drinking soda, and coming 3 times a week to exercise. That's it. When I assess him, he lost 7 pounds. in a month. And he continued losing weight because he is only focusing one thing at a time compared to those people they want to do everything and they quit. It's the same concept that I do apply in my life. I have a lot of things to do. I have a couple of businesses to run. I have a family. I have my hobbies. I have to take care of myself. So when I set up my to-do list for that day, for that week, it's a lot of things that I have to do. When I try to do everything, I become crazy. I get paralyzed. Or I'm gonna do one thing. I wanna do one thing, then I leave it halfway done. Then I wanna do another thing, and I don't get anything done. However, if I set up my priorities, such as God, my health, my wife, my daughter, my walk, my dogs, then I know what I need to do first, which is my meditation, my exercise, giving time to my daughter, going for a walk, eating healthy. And then I find a time when I can do a couple of tasks about anything, such as my hobby, such as uh, the business, such as something for me, such as something that somebody else needs my help. I set up the task, set up the time, and focus only on one thing. If I finish that thing, then I go and do another thing. And then I continue doing things if I have the time. If I don't have the time, then the next day. I have the next day to get it done. But guess what? I have achieved many goals because of that. I'm not overwhelmed and I get every single task done because I prioritize it and I do one thing at a time. Like the Navy SEAL said, just little chunks instead of trying to eat the whole elephant. All these people who don't quit, who adhere to their program, I see a pattern. The pattern is they do small things, one thing at a time, one habit at a time, one repetition at a time, one set at a time, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. They don't overwhelm themselves, just like this Navy SEAL said. If he was thinking about all the training uh, he was doing, it was mentally difficult, but only he focused on that moment, on that task, and what he needed to do. So for your weight loss, think about it. If you think about all the weight you need to lose, about those 60 pounds, and you focus only on those 60 pounds, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years for you to get toned. If you think about all the workouts, it's around 180 workouts that you have to do a year. And plus you running, let's say that's another 180. There are too many runs, there are too many weightlifting. If you think about the repetitions, if you do 10 repetitions, if you do 20 repetitions, if you do 4 sets, that's 80. That's only in one set of exercises. If you find all the set of exercises, we're talking about 8 times 9, it's around 72. It's around 720 repetitions of exercise that you have to do in one day. Can you multiply that by 4 weeks? How many repetitions? And then for the week, you multiply that for the week, for the month, then for the year. There's so many. It's overwhelming. You can't think about all the repetitions and sets that you're going to do in the whole year. You just do one day, one repetition, one set at a time. And it gets easier. Then you do one run a day, 4 runs a week, and forget about the rest. Then you lose 1 pound and forget about the other 50 pounds. And then you're going to lose another pound. All of a sudden you lost 10, then 25, then 50. And then you forget about the time you invest 1 month, then the next month, and then the next month, and let it happen. Don't see the big picture and overwhelm yourself. Start cutting your tasks in small chunks so you are able to digest everything. Is not overwhelming for you. So that's that message right there. That's the way you stay adherent to your weight loss program. Hopefully you like this talk. Please share with somebody who needs to listen to this one so he or she gets motivated and start losing weight. Be a hero. send it to your friend, send it to your cousin, send it